What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the channel. It's winter time here in Pennsylvania, so I'm sorry to say I haven't been on YouTube for a couple days because I got a bit of a cold. I'm just starting to finally cough up all the junk, so I'm getting my voice back. But I wanted to make this video because there's two apps that I use on a regular basis, one more than the other, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But they're more or less driving apps. Now, we all have our favorite music app, and if you have a modern car, you like link your Bluetooth, and that's not what I'm talking about, because obviously we all love music, especially when we're driving. And if you haven't seen, I'll include the link below. We made a video last year of our favorite driving songs, so check that out. A lot of participation from the YouTube world on that one. But the first app I want to talk about is the app called Track Addict. Now, this is a very cool app. It's very intuitive as far as linking up with your GPS. Track Addict is an app that can give you timesheets for driving the quarter mile, half mile, 1 mile, and also road courses throughout the United States. There's hundreds and hundreds of program tracks. I wanna say it's worldly too. I'll have to check on that. But there's hundreds of tracks programmed into there. So if you go to these tracks, it can take your lap times and tell you how good you're doing, and keep track of all that for you. Also, with the straight line drag strip mode, you can program it to do 1/8 mile, quarter mile, half mile, 1 mile, straight line drag strip, and it'll time you. It'll give you a tree, so you get your abandoned road in Mexico, and of course you drive on it, and you want to know what kind of time you did and mile per hour. This app is really good for determining that. I've used it a couple times. It's pretty accurate. It's a little off on the 0 to 60, as you would think, because it's using GPS and not a more reliable like interface as far as within your vehicle. But as far as quarter mile time, it was really, really close. Now, it's just to give you a baseline. You can't go and say, well, I did a 12.9, whatever the case may be. When you've never run a 12.9, you've always been in the 13s. It's a little subjective because you got to understand you're on the street. Most high horsepower cars can't get traction on the street like they can on the track. So, like I said, it's a little subjective. So, it's just to give you a good baseline and maybe compare some numbers if you were gonna add an option to your car, put a part on your car to give you a little bit more horsepower, and you kind of want to see how much has been affected. Because essentially, if you're using your car one time, you put a part on and to add more horsepower, and then you use it again, you drop a tenth, you'll kind of know where you're at. It's a good baseline, and that way you could do some testing without going to the track. I don't live next to a track, probably like a lot of you. So when I go to the track, I have to make a day of it because it's a drive. So, and that's it. So the other app I want to talk about is Waze. Waze is an app I use pretty much every day. Even when I'm not using the navigation, I have it on just for the traffic updates, the weather updates, and also the police updates. Now, Waze has updated in the last few weeks. Now you can actually change the voice on Waze. I call Waze my girlfriend, but I currently have a British girlfriend. You can change the voice to 50 or 100 different things. It's pretty neat. But Waze is a great app for the everyday driver. Waze can also be used to mark hazards coming up, not only in the road, but people on the side of the road. And if you live in a mountainous area, some area like where I live, where you get a lot of snow, it's good to see traffic detours when roads are closed, or accidents coming up, vehicles on the side of the road. Because if you can avoid situations like that, then you're not stuck out there where, like everybody else, and you know, your commute wouldn't be as miserable. But Waze is something I use all the time, and I swear by it. Just don't, like, I get the people who are like, oh, I got a ticket, I had Waze up the whole time. Well, you got to remember, like, somebody has to be the first one. Somebody has to be the first one to see the cop, to mark the cop. So if you are in the habit of just speeding everywhere, you're eventually going to get a speeding ticket. If you're the occasional speeder where, like, maybe you don't pay attention to changing speeds, or the fact that, like, you go into a town and maybe the speed limit drops and you kind of forget, Waze is good with that because it'll let you know what the speed limit is and when it changes, and if you're over. Down in the bottom left corner, it'll show you your speed, and it'll also show you the speed of where you're at, the speed limit. So it's really good for that, even if you don't see a sign. So yeah, guys, I hope you appreciate the little information I passed along here about the driving apps. But as always, continue to watch the 570. I got lots of videos coming up. As soon as I get rid of this nasally congestion that I have, I'm gonna do some more videos. But coming back next time.